Okay, so we are working on our stream table unit, starting it out. And the purpose of this unit is to be able to do standard number 10 for our year, which is this: to examine a landscape and determine what shaped it. And what a stream table allows us to do is explore and experiment with a landscape and be able to actually observe those changes in it. So when we see a picture in nature, we can figure out what shaped it in the past. And so this is a stream table. And so what you're noticing is it's a pan that is full of sediment. And it might be tough for you to see. It's not all small sediments, not all fine grain. There are some coarse grain pea gravel in there too, which we'll look at in some of our experimentation. You can see I've built a cliff, and then right here there's actually a drainage hole and a pan at the floor to catch any of the drainage when we create the stream. Another thing that's tough for you to see is that I have created a gradient. Remember, that's one of our vocab words. I have created a slope here because I have this up on one wood block. And so what I'm going to hop up here and do now is to start around one of our explore. And so I'm going to take a cup in this, or I guess, I don't know, cup, yeah, container. And what you might have trouble seeing is that this has a small hole drilled into it. And so I'm going to fill it with water, plug that hole, then I'm going to come to this edge and hold it steady right here. And we're going to watch what happens. Now, there are 4 things that we're going to answer at the end. The first one is, what's the shape of the stream channel? And I will try to get you a close-up of that. And then you'll hear me measure how wide the stream channel is at its widest part, how deep it is at its deepest part, and also if any sediment moved beyond the original cliff, we're going to measure the distance from the cliff or the sediment that's moved to the edge of the pan. Okay, so here we go. This is round 1 of the explore. Okay. So you can see, I hope, water starting to go straight down through. And it's making its way. You can see the moisture right about to there. It's almost the stream channel to the edge of the cliff now. And I'm still having a more than halfway full container. Now, one thing that we're going to do at the end today is brainstorm all the different things we could do. As I mentioned, you're going to be designing your own experiment eventually, so you can kind of be thinking about that too as you watch. I'm trying to hold it real steady in the center here. So I don't know if you can tell, I think you can, that the stream channel is looking quite wide here. You can see the moisture. And then look what's starting to happen at the end. Now you might remember a vocabulary word, alluvial fan. We're starting to see an alluvial fan created. And an alluvial fan, again, is this triangular shaped deposit at the end. And what you're starting to hear there is just the water getting to the bottom of the pan and dripping. Okay, we're almost out of water, and we'll start our measurements here in a moment. Okay. Here we go. Okay, so let's check this out together. So I'm going to get you more of a close-up here, I hope. So if we check out the stream channel is not very deep. We're going to measure in a second. but it is quite wide and it's right here. So what would we say the shape of the stream channel is? I think we would probably say the stream channel is straight. And then you can see the alluvial fan here that's been created. Okay, so let me do some measurements now. So the first question is, how wide is the stream channel in its widest part? So I have a tape measure here. The widest part is actually closer to the top than the bottom, and we'll measure in centimeters for metric. So that is 15 centimeters. Now the depth of the stream channel at this point is not very deep at all. Ready? 0.5 centimeters, so only half a centimeter. And then our final question is, how far did sediment move beyond the original cliff? And so it did not go quite to the edge of the pan, but close. So I'm measuring from the original cliff to where I see sediment, and that is a 10 centimeter movement. Now this time, I am not going to change anything at all about the stream table. What I'm going to do is keep it just like it is for this round, and then we are going to observe any changes in the stream course. And we might not have any, meaning by stream course I mean the shape that the stream takes, but if we do have changes, we'll describe them. And we're also going to notice if there are any changes beyond the cliff. Okay, so same procedure. I fill up the cup, the container. I plug up that hole, and here we go. Okay, so what I hope you can see is that this water is starting to fill the original stream channel, and we are getting way more sediment moving now. And I'm only about, I don't know, 1/4 of the way through the water at this point. Now, another thing that I hope that you're starting to notice is that it appears that a small island is being created right here, and that instead of having one stream channel, we're actually getting 2 stream channels form. And that's actually called sometimes a braided stream channel. Now notice in the alluvial fan, if you can see it, that down here you're even seeing 2 stream channels go through the fan. So some pretty major changes that we see. You can still notice those 2 stream channels instead of 1, and then it splits off again. Just a little more water left, and then we'll talk about what it is that we can be actually writing. Okay, you got that close enough to the end, I think. So, let's check this out together. So what do we notice now? Our question is, do we notice any changes in the original stream course? And I think we definitely should be saying yes to that. Now, if we were going to describe the changes we see, remember that we only had 1 stream channel before, so let's write in, we definitely see changes, or type in changes. We now have 2 stream channels that are clearly visible. Let's also add this. I can still see a little bit of an island created there. If you start to watch in nature, you're going to notice this around. Particularly, I don't know how many of you drive by this every day. I drive by the pit stop, the gas station, by the cottage, and the river that's there. You can definitely see these things all the time happening, changes in the stream course. Okay, do we notice any changes in how the sediment is deposited past the original cliff? And the answer to that is a definite yes. Let me tell you why. In this case, the alluvial fan is much bigger, so let's write that in. A bigger alluvial fan, which means more sediment is deposited in this triangular shape. And we also notice that the sediment goes all the way to the end of the pan. So not only is the alluvial fan bit wider, it also goes to all the way to the edge of the pan. So once you have all that written, here comes our next step, and it's a really important one. So notice that I have a spot there for 7 I wonders. So you've watched me set up this exploration. So what I want you to be thinking about, and 7 is a minimum, different things that we could do. What could we change? I've already told you that you're eventually going to be designing your own experiment with the stream table. So what could you do differently? That is our I wonder.